Hello, my yarny friends. I'm SAch, and welcome back to another edition of This or That. And what that is I ask you a question, I give you my opinion, and then you have the opportunity to give your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please do comment because I love reading what you have to say. We can learn from each other, especially about crochet, which is what this is all about. Crochet and yarn questions. Now, today's question is, do you block your projects or not? Do you sometimes block, or do you always block no matter what the project is? So first of all, what is blocking? Blocking can be used for a lot of reasons. I made this mug rug and one side was a little bit bigger than the other, so I blocked it. I spritzed it with some water and I let it sit on top of my dryer. Another reason that we can block is if we're doing granny squares that we want to be perfectly even. Now, I know that once you wash what is blocked, you'll have to re-block it. But the reason that it's a good idea to block granny squares is it makes them a little more uniform when it comes time to put them all together. You don't have to. It's just something that makes it a little bit easier. Another reason to block is if we just want it to be all crisped up, especially if you're giving a gift. This is our wildflower washcloth and doily. It kind of has a sunflower vibe to it, and I really like it. But if I want to give this as a gift, I want it to be nice and crisp. So again, I'll pin it to a blocking board. I'll spritz it with water only and let it dry. And the best place to let something like this dry is on top of your dryer. You're going to run your dryer, it's going to bring a little heat up, and it's going to help it stay put and dry quickly. So what do you need to block? I like this style of blocking boards. This is one I bought a long time ago. And then the other ones I bought in a pack of 6, I believe. You can buy them at Michael's. You can buy them at Joann's. And I've also seen them at Hobby Lobby. Occasionally I'll see them at Walmart. But your best bet really is just to get online and see who has them. They're just called blocking boards. You don't have to use this. You can use a thick piece of cardboard or just lay it out on a towel and pin it to a nice thick bath towel. So really all you need is something to pin it to, some pins. Now remember, in the old days, dressmaker pins were not made of stainless steel and they would rust. So make sure you don't use any of your old ones and get you some new ones that are just regular old stainless steel, and they will not rust because you don't want those rust spots on your project. The other thing is just water. I keep this particular one. I use it when I iron, and I also use it for blocking. And I marked it on the bottle, water only, so we don't put anything else in it. Now, if you want to make, say, a snowflake or an ornament that you want to be stiff, what I do is I get the old-fashioned school glue, and I mix it 50% school glue and 50% water. I put it in a bowl and mix it up real good, just like I'm making pancakes. And then I'll dip those snowflakes or whatever I'm making that I want to be stiff. I'll just dip it right in a bowl, and then I'll lay it out on my blocking board and pin it. Yes, it will get sticky on your blocking board. That's where it comes in nice to have a towel to lay over it, so you can throw that in the wash. But these wash off very nicely. They're like a thick sponge, and so they do wash off very nicely. All right, so those are the reasons that I use a blocking board and how I block my projects. And so there are lots of reasons that it's a good idea to block your projects. But to be honest with you, if I'm doing, say, a large table runner, I'll just spritz it damp. I don't get them soaking wet. I just get them damp. I'll lay a towel out across my own table or, say, coffee table, and I'll lay it out and shape it on that and let it dry. I don't usually block hats. I don't usually block clothing or anything like a blanket. unless it's granny squares. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Well, anyway, I don't usually block my blankets or large wraps and shawls and things like that unless they're made out of little granny squares. And the reason that I do block granny squares is it just makes it easier to line those up so that you can stitch them together. Okay, so that's my opinion. What's yours? What do you block? Do you block at all? Now that we know what blocking is, will you start blocking? So that's our this or that. Do we block or do we not? I hope you'll answer those questions, like I said, down in those comments, and we can learn a lot from each other. Well, thank you for tuning in to This and That, and I'll see you next week or maybe the week after, or make sure you go back and read through some of the other questions from our other This and That videos as well. You can always add your comments even to the older videos. I get notified and then I can read them. All right? So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time for this or that.